He didn't, because I would have been able to defend myself against him. But I didn't want Scooter to die, because if anything happens to me, why would I want my children's father to be dead and not be able to take care of my children for me? For himself. For them. Why are you assuming I wanted anything bad to happen to Scooter? I didn't want him to also be in good mental health, have everything he needs to provide for the children and for himself and his mental health, so he could give good care to our children. That's right. She wasn't married. There were no children involved. No, he's going to die. Just like I'm going to die. Our daughter knows that. Just like Bagel the fishy died. Just like Hope died. Just like Papa died. Just like my grandfather died. My daughter was at my grandfather's funeral. But you're giving my child anxiety about that, constantly talking about it, constantly making her fear that she's never going to see her mom again. She's never going to be able to do all of those things. And the same thing with me. When I've been alive and healthy, working, doing everything for the last 4 years, this entire time, previous to this mental health diagnosis and all this other bullshit, and afterwards, I'm able to work, to take care of my children, to do all of this, and you stole that from my children, and you're stealing from other people. They're all getting paid to prevent me from doing that for free, because they're my children. Nobody's going to pay you for that. It's a thankless job. Oh, yeah. And now Aaron had 2 children since then. Katie's had a child. Sarah's had a child. My nephew's about to have his first child. He's only 21 years old. And they all had the audacity to take my children away from me. He's only 21 years old. He was 18 and didn't even have a car yet. He just got his car when I was staying with them. He didn't have a job. His job was hockey. He didn't even go to school. He was homeschooled. Oh, but let's give him a child. He's allowed to get somebody pregnant and have a child. And as far as I know, they're not married. My sister said, oh, they're going to have to figure out what they're going to do. They're not married, so they're going to be on state benefits. She's probably going to have Medicaid unless she has private insurance. They're going to have to pay for that. We're all going to have to pay for that. Just bringing more children into the world that... And I'm not there. You don't have my support. You don't have my family support. You don't seem to have your own mother's support. But you're going to do it anyways. And that's fine. But what about your cousins who were here first? Your auntie who was at every single one of your birthday parties that she could make it to. Every single one of Alexis's dance recitals that I could make it to. And then my dad wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for me. I think you have a mental health disorder if you're going to be such a fucking asshole that you won't even drive my dad back, your children's grandfather, back to his house when you're going the same fucking direction and force me to drive all the way there knowing I'm not going that direction, and then drive all the way back to my mom's house because of you, because of the consequences of your choices and actions. to choose to do that to someone. He did that on purpose. And told me no, he's not driving my dad home. And then it was perfectly fine for me to drive my niece, my dad, my brother, and my niece, my newborn niece, in my vehicle. But I couldn't drive my own children in my vehicle and go pick them up and see them and take care of them whenever I needed to. I had to sit at home at my mom's house and wait all day to speak to them on FaceTime. At 5:30 when Stella got out of school, around dinner time or right after dinner time or whatever, when she doesn't want to do it, she wants to hang out and watch TV. She doesn't want to talk to me. She's used to me already being there, already talking to me. I've already asked her how her day at school was, what she did. Yeah. Don't you think mine did too? What other videos do you guys want? Do you want me to actually start uploading the videos, the timeline of all of this, all of the photos that I took previous to this happening in my life, and then we'll go through September, October, November. We just celebrated Wednesday's 2nd birthday. And my brother was there, all my family was there, and then my cousins happened to be there as well. That had moved back up from Arizona. And I got to see my other little cousin, Henry, for the first time after my uncle passed away. He looks just like my uncle. His youngest daughter. Yeah, in 2021. She's 6 now. I haven't seen her since June of 2022. I only got to see her for an hour on the weekends. So they stopped the visits at my mom's house because I was no longer at my mom's house by December because she had to go back to work anyways. And then they wanted him to pay for supervised visits. The judge ordered him to pay for that. And then also a second psychiatric evaluation with Dr. Lemon that Jeremy would have need to pay for. That's why he's screaming at me in the video and sending me the text messages. You just said you didn't want to do this or that. Because I had already called about the supervised visits before Christmas. Because it was already in the order that we were doing the supervised visits and a second psychiatric evaluation. Independent psychiatric evaluation. So of course I had to do the calls for this because I'm the one who has to have the supervised visits as well and meet with the person and see how all of this works. And I call them and he's telling me, oh, if I'm gonna supervise you on Christmas with the girls, you said 10 to 6, what's the court order? Oh yeah, that'll be about $900 or like $1,000 or some shit. Because it was a holiday, it was 15 miles away from the local place, plus holiday pay, drive time, plus his fees are like $90 an hour. So then I finally get these visits, and I only get to see Wednesday, and I only get 1 hour. He can only afford 1 hour a week that I only get to see my children. And he had already stopped letting me do FaceTime calls, parenting FaceTime calls in the evening and saying goodnight because he would call me back when the girls were going to bed so I could sing their bedtime songs to them because that was their normal routine is they got songs and stories. So, I'm sorry, stories and then songs. Stella had her own bedtime song, personal bedtime song he wrote for her. And started singing her that we sang every night. He hadn't made up a bedtime song for Wednesday yet. Why? Because I was breastfeeding her for 15 months. I was the one who was putting her to bed, not him. And then now they're 6.5 years apart. Stella's already 6 years old. She's already going to bed. She's already reading on her own. All of this. She doesn't need the same attention for bedtime. Songs and stories, good night. She can read her books herself. We do story time. That's it. Nope, I didn't miss it all. I was there for 8 years. My daughter was almost 9. Breastfed Wednesday for 15 months. I didn't miss anything. It was taken from me. And then the police to sit there and say that he wasn't causing trauma and harm to our child after his mom ripped Wednesday out of the house while she's calling for me. Wednesday is so upset. I just want you to hold me. I recorded all of this so you could hear my child crying for me in the crib. No, I just want you to hold you. I just want you to hold me. She didn't want me to put her in the bed because when she woke up, I might not be there again. Because that's what happened last time. I wasn't there that night when she went to bed, and I wasn't there the next day or the next day or the next day or the next day for weeks. She could only see me through the phone. She didn't know what the fuck was going on. Stop telling me and trying to diagnose me with a fucking mental health disorder when you are traumatizing and abusing my children without my consent. On purpose. And you're letting this man do it on purpose. And because I recorded it and you can see it and you just want to keep denying it. Because my attorney wasn't there. The judge wasn't there. I had been sending my attorney all of the text messages of him harassing me over this, that, and the other thing. We invite him to Anthony's hockey game. I ask him if we can keep the girls later for the Christmas event, the Saturday, because it didn't start until the evening. It was like a nighttime train ride and go see Santa. And it was after 6 p.m. Oh, I assumed I wasn't invited and this. I was not being anything with him. All I did was just stay at my mom's house. I attempted to call him, had like a 3-hour conversation with him, and all he just kept saying, nope, there were so many red flags. Nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm like, Scooter, you need to stop this right now. This is ridiculous. Why are you doing this? Why are you wasting money? Why are you doing all of this? No, he wouldn't know what a fucking red flag was had I not got him those colorblind glasses. He wouldn't have known what a red flag was or a green flag was unless I got him those colorblind glasses. So many red flags on what? The non-disclosure agreements you were signing? The contracts you were signing? Behind my back? Lying to me, stealing from me?